much Hannelore is going to say about herself. So I just want to give you a very, very brief introduction. That Hannelore, you know, is a sort of, I think, a very senior person in Sanbo Zen, really. She helps organize all the teachers' retreats and has been in practice quite a long time. She began, I think, sort of in the early 80s or something like that. And actually, I believe she had some involvement with Philip Kapleau, who helped found Mountain Cloud. So that's an interesting connection. But Hannelore is also a physician, you know, Western doctor, as well as a doctor of Chinese medicine, and a psychoanalyst, psychotherapist, I think in sort of Jungian kind of tradition, and also I believe a Qigong instructor as well. So she, as well as being a very, you know, long trained Zen teacher. So multiple sort of offerings to the world. So we're really thrilled. Thank you, Hannelore, so much. And if you want to add or correct anything I said, please feel free to do so. And thank you very much again. Okay.
So can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Peggy,
Okay.
you. Yeah.
So, wonderful. Thank you, Henry, for your nice introduction. And I'm really a little bit astonished what this kind of person, Hannelore, all did. I'm not aware of that. But so I'm very, very glad that I have the opportunity to see you, dear Henry, and to have the chance to talk to Mountain Cloud Sangha I have never met before. So it's quite a challenge because I don't know anybody, and usually I give teisho to my students and in a session, so everybody knows what to say, what to do. And so I try to do my very best on this virtual Zazen Kai. It is an honor to speak to all of you, and our first meeting, Henry, happened in the Kenshukai in Amsterdam, 2010. In these days, we were sitting close to each other, and you were supposed to present the koan Mumonkan 6. Shakyamuni holds up a flower, a wonderful koan that you really offered in its deep peace, dynamics, and beauty. Since then, we meet at least once a year, and it's so natural and cordial to communicate with each other. So I hope this atmosphere can be transmitted also via Zoom. First, I want to make a short introduction concerning one aspect of our actual situation. Dear friends in the US who are searching for the way or truth, at the moment we are in a similar and strange situation at any place of the world. And who or what is responsible for that? I do not talk about the long-term impact of the climate. The topic that actually worries everyone is the COVID-19 situation that is a serious matter. At the moment of my preparation, the number of 34 million people are infected. It has already passed, and approximately 1.1 million people actually died by this infectious disease. So it is not a joke that this tiny little thing, scientifically classified as a virus, not visible without a microscope, has the ability to let us die. Beyond that, it changes our behavior, social structures, and threatens economy worldwide. Certainly, in history, we learned of other infections that thousands of people had to die from pest, cholera, Ebola, but it did not affect society in so different fields worldwide. This new dimension of disease forces people at any age to learn the intimacy of life, sickness, and death, and pay attention to the personal responsibility for our common fate, generally speaking. Up to now, a lot of people have given up themselves to the pressure of temporal affairs and blindly passed through their days and nights of their valuable life. On some occasions, however, one may reflect on the ever-changing pictures and sceneries of human life. This COVID-19 situation all over the world might imply such a significance. 2,500 years ago, Prince Shakyamuni had his first confrontation with this common to all reality of sickness, age, and death when he left his castle in his late 20s and let himself bring to the marketplace of his and his family's kingdom. He was struck with this suffering that awakened his urge to search for real truth. As you know, he completely changed his life. He left his castle and his young family to find any solution for these fundamental problems. It seems to me that this pandemic crisis worldwide forces us to behave in a different way and to let us feel the insecurity of our personal life day by day. This turns our view inside, forces us to stay exactly at the place where we are. Some kinds of distractions are eradicated, and a quite high level of attention and awareness is necessary in social life. Maybe that some people want to turn around, clarifying the deep purpose and meaning of our life. This may serve as a brief introduction to the case I chose, as you, Henry, asked me to speak here. This case instantly came up into my mind. It is case 1 of the Hekikan-roku, and we find it also as case 2 in Shoyu-roku, 2 of our famous koan collections in Zen tradition. Bodhidharma's vast and void. Hekikan-roku is gathered by Master Setcho Juken. He lived 980 till 1052. He compiled 100 koans, and Setcho himself wrote a deepening verse to each case. There's also an introduction to the theme of the koan, but in concern of time and our capacity to listen carefully, please allow me to concentrate on the case and the verse. Bodhidharma's vast and void. Emperor Bu of Yu asked Great Master Bodhidharma, "What is the ultimate meaning of the Holy Truth?" Bodhidharma said, "Vast and void, no holiness." The emperor said, "Who are you facing me?" Bodhidharma said, "I don't know." The emperor did not understand. Finally, Bodhidharma crossed the Yangtze River and came to the kingdom of Gi. Later, the emperor asked Shiko about it. Shiko said, "Does your majesty know who that man is?" The emperor said, "I don't know." Shiko said, "He is the Mahasattva Avalokitesvara, transmitting the seal of the Buddha's mind." The emperor regretted what had happened and wanted to send an emissary to invite Bodhidharma back. Shiko said, "Your Majesty, don't say to send an emissary to fetch him back. Even if all the people in the land were to go after him, he would not return." So this is the case. And the actual translation for these Chinese characters, vast and void, can mean clear and void, as Rion Roshi said in Kenshokai 2017, or completely empty, as Yamada Koan's interpretation was in Shuriroku 2. In Japanese, the pronunciation of these characters is just Kakunen Musho. Kakunen Musho, vast and void. You certainly know already Bodhidharma's face, at least concrete, as it is printed as logo on each case on the published teisho that you can find in Sanbo Zen org. There you can see. I think this is Bodhidharma. His face is a very impressive one with a beard, bald head, and thick eyebrows and amazing wide eyes. He is the one who transmitted Zen from India to China in the 6th century. As the 28th patriarch in line, beginning with Shakyamuni Buddha, he was the Dharma successor of the 27th patriarch, the Chinese master, the Indian master, Reverend Hanya Tara. This master was quite challenging. Shortly before his death, he told Bodhidharma, who was about 58 years, to stay in India for a while, exactly for another 67 years, before he should transmit Zen to China. Bodhidharma obeyed, and he started his journey to China by a small ship at the age of 125. Nobody can say if this is legendary or not. We can leave this aspect aside. Actually, the eldest person in the world now is a Japanese lady at the age of 117. We could see her on the screen and TV on NHK last month. The core of the story is the transmission of Zen to China. His small boat landed in the south of China, where he met the reigning king, Emperor Bu. He was a very successful king and reigned for 47 years, 502 until 549. This mighty emperor and his son were very eager already in Buddhist practice and philosophy. They discarded Taoism in favor of Buddhism and built temples, established rules and precepts for serious monks. And the emperor exerted himself in Buddhist practice very seriously, put on a monk's robe, and once in a while delivered lectures on the sutras. Therefore, Bodhidharma went to see him, hoping to open up the emperor's eye by whatever means necessary. And this is the situation where the koan starts. The emperor expresses his deep concern and asks, what is the ultimate meaning of the holy truth? He is asking for the ultimate dimension. An adequate question before this great master Bodhidharma from India. And Bodhidharma replies very honestly, vast and void, no holiness, no merits. It is like the autumn sky, so clear and transparent without a single cloud. Even the blue color of the sky is gone. But nothing at all in deep earnestness. His answer to the emperor's question is the ultimate truth. Nothing before, nothing behind. He instantaneously presents whole existence. Unfortunately, the emperor did not get it. Vast and void. When I heard these words for the first time, the image of a wide desert, or Death Valley, for example, came up, wide and plain. Or another image, the wide ocean touching the sky without any border in the horizon. These are very common images that arise independently of our cultural conditions. It arises from the collective consciousness as Freud and Jung discovered, a storage consciousness of human heart-mind in the last century. My first impression of the scenery was definitely limited to a horizontal axis. Where is the vertical, straight dimension? It is still an image, but in whose mind? So I ask you, can that be the ultimate truth? Not at all, as you already might assume. But perhaps the emperor saw it that way. The emperor was surprised, but not yet satisfied by Bodhidharma's answer. He thought it must be something very sacred, and assumed that Bodhidharma is a wise and sacred person. Therefore, he asks, who are you facing me? So who are you? Another sharp, wonderful question to clarify. Bodhidharma said, I don't know. Very honest answer after such a long history of Zen practice and his personalization of his reiterated insights. Bodhidharma presented again, vast and voidness. I don't know. The second presentation leaves no doubt about the essence of our true self. I don't know. This is real Bodhidharma. Any self-consciousness is gone. No separation at all. And not only vast and void, but nobody there. No one who can see this vastness, this voidness. Oneness cannot see anything because there is nothing that could be seen. no active, no passive, nothing beyond, nor any place or time. The particular location and the exact time opens up and is gone at the same moment. When Sato Roshi and Rion Roshi had session in Israel a couple of years ago, we had the chance to see Lake Gennesaret and a modern museum close to the shore. There I bought a wooden cross made of an olive tree. And as far as art and a religious symbol can express the deepest dimension of existence at all, it was empty. Look at this. It is empty in the shape of Jesus Christ. Very different to the wooden crosses at home and in church I grew up with. That struck me. This voidness, even expressed in the most significant symbol of Christianity. Where did the suffering go to? And the pain, anxieties, and death? Bodhidharma's, vast and void, does not have any shape at all. It is completely formless. Object and subject merge in absolute subjectivity, not a question of the space-time continuum. Simultaneously, we live in this world by our perception, the senses inclusive our mind, filters this deepest dimension. Therefore, we can grasp it seemingly. Reality itself cannot be grasped as a non-blue sky or the clear, pure autumn, completely void. All our senses in their functions, any consciousness of ourselves collapses in one instant. Nothing left. Clear and void. Naked self. And in the same instant, each sense, each perception, complete manifestation of the truth. The emperor wants to see this dimension and tries again. Who are you? But he could not understand Bodhidharma's I don't know. Instead of all his effort and merits, he could not share Bodhidharma's world. It looks like that the emperor did not even have a little glimpse of it. So Bodhidharma gave up. He crossed the Yangtze River and came to the kingdom of Gi. He left the south and went to the northern part of China to Shaolin Temple, where he sat facing the wall for another 9 years. In Shoyoroku, the koan finishes at this point. In Hekikan Roku, there is some more teaching as second part. The emperor asked Shiko about the conversation with Bodhidharma. Shiko is a mysterious person who is able to appear in different forms. With his birth, it is said he was enlightened and lived a very unconventional life. He said, "Does your majesty know who that man is?" The emperor said, "I don't know." Then Shiko was moved by compassion for the emperor, and he took Bodhidharma's visit as a chance to awaken the emperor. Shiko said, he is the Mahasattva Avalokitesvara, transmitting the seal of the Buddha's mind. In other words, he is the incarnation of Kanon, transmitting the truth of Buddha's enlightenment. This is exactly Emperor Bu was searching for. The emperor regretted what had happened and wanted to send an emissary to invite Bodhidharma back. Shiko said, Your Majesty, don't say to send an emissary to fetch him back. Even if all the people in the land were to go after him, he would not return. The emperor was touched by Shiko's words and all the more regretful. He composed a poem which expresses his feelings. Yearning after him in vain for thousands and then 10,000 years, and had it carved in stone. It strikes the reader because he expresses a very deep and intimate feeling of mankind. We are the searchers, but it is exactly we ourselves who are sought after. There's no separation. But the emperor does not know that. Therefore, he is yearning. This is exactly the situation Master Setcho composed a verse. Verse: the holy truth, vast and void, how could you ever discern the clearest point? Who are you facing me? His answer was, I don't know. Thereupon he secretly crossed the Yangtze River. How could the growth of thorns and brambles be avoided? Even if all the people in the land went after him, he would not come back. He yearns after him in vain for thousands and tens of thousands of years. Give up yearning for him. What limit is there to the pure wind circling the earth? Looking around to the right and to the left, the master said, is the patriarch here? Yes, he answered himself. Call him here. I'll make him wash this old monk's feet. The first part is a repetition of the case, so I jump into the fifth line. All these thorns and brambles points to all effort of our practice with sometimes fruitless results. This refers to the limits of our intellectual understanding. It is a dead end. We can only come out of it by our dedication to our Zen practice. Master Setcho has deep compassion with us searchers who suffer from this sickness. Therefore, he spits the medicine out. Give up yearning to bring Bodhidharma back. What limit is there to the wind circling the earth? What is this wind? Is it the same as Bodhidharma? Where is the real fact he pushes? The rain, clouds, the autumn mist, being sad, complete manifestation of our true self. In reality, Bodhidharma never goes away or comes back. Not only Bodhidharma, but our true self. is that way. In the double sense of that way. The way is our true self. It is unborn and cannot go anywhere. Ultimate truth does not know time and space. A true essence knows no coming and going. How could it ever go away or come back? Please open your eyes and testify this by looking around. Anything there? Anybody there? Master Setsu steps forward. He calls, "Is the patriarch there?" And answered himself, "Yes." Oh yes, there is one. And unexpectedly, he even goes further. "Call him here. I will make him wash this old monk's feet." Amazing. Call him and even let him wash your feet. Such impudence. All of us know that famous Master Bodhidharma is synonymous for Zen. This call is the patriarch here and the request to make him wash this old monk's feet wakes up and helps us to break through the conventional structures of our mentality. Everyone has the ability to experience true liberty and prajna, the source of wisdom and compassion. That clarifies who true Bodhidharma is. Please keep that firmly. Thank you for your attention and this invitation. And if you like, just give me a sign. We would recite Shiku Segamon.
Hannelore, it's Henry. Thank you so very, very much. And let's go, yes, please, let's go into Shigu Segamon. If you'd like to lead us, I think we'll, so you won't hear us, but we'll hear you. And I just want to say, isn't it great the way you've vividly brought to life Bodhidharma,
Oh.
wind circling us, right here, right here.
Thank you, it's you. goodbye and take care of yourself.
Thank you so much.